Layne Norton and D'Agostino recently appeared on Joe Rogan's podcast to debate whether a keto or a flexible diet was superior. Dom is an advocate of a high-fat, low-carb, moderate-protein ketogenic diet.
Ketogenic intermittent fasting is very, very easy for me. I love the food and I feel better. And I think all my health biomarkers are improving.
While Layne agrees that keto can be helpful for some people, he says that the majority of the advantages that they get just simply come from restricting calories, which you can really do eating anything.
You can eat essentially whatever you want as long as you hit your protein, carbohydrate, and fat targets.
This would mean that you can eat any food you want and still get healthier as long as it fits within your macronutrient requirements. He even says that for weight loss, eating more carbs is better than eating more fat.
You get a small extra benefit from fat restriction versus carb restriction on fat loss. So you get about 26 grams extra fat loss per day, calories equated, protein equated, if you restrict fat versus carb.
Over the course of this 3-hour podcast, both of these guys made some pretty compelling points, but obviously both of them can't be right. And that's why I decided to evaluate both of these diets on myself. I followed each diet for 3 weeks and measured my body composition, strength, productivity, and blood markers before starting and after completing each. The question at the top of everyone's mind is probably, how do you know what your macronutrient requirements are? According to Layne, this just means eating the right amount of calories and protein for your goals.
If you control your calories, so you eat in a calorie deficit, you eat enough protein, because protein helps spare lean body mass and is thermogenic, so it increases your energy output, then you can kind of do whatever you want with carbs and fats and whatever you prefer, and you'll still lose the same amount of weight and get about all the health benefits.
To find these, I put Dom's claim that a ketogenic diet helps reduce your appetite to the test.
With a low carb and with a ketogenic diet, that becomes a practical strategy to create a sustainable calorie deficit.
I started by following a keto diet and ate whenever I was hungry. The only caveat being that I had to restrict my carbs to around 20 grams per day. To do this, I tracked all the food that I ate and learned that I was eating around 3,800 calories and 260 grams of protein per day. If you're like me, you're probably thinking, that doesn't really sound like an appetite restriction. And Layne does say that the appetite restriction is restricted to some people.
That is not always going to work. Some people don't feel that satiated on a ketogenic diet. There are people who do feel hungrier on that.
But when I switched to a flexible diet and aimed for the same 3,800 calories and 260 grams of protein, I had to do everything in my power to stop myself from eating more. So I have to agree with Dom and Joe because, at least for me, the keto diet definitely helped restrict my appetite.
Appetite regulation is influenced positively by nutritional ketosis.
Well, you can certainly feel it. It's one of the weirder things about the ketogenic diet. When you're in that state, all of a sudden you're just not hungry the same. There's not an overwhelming need for food.
Yeah.
That being said, the calories that I ate are pretty irrelevant unless you take into consideration what they did to my body composition. While I did lose 2.5 pounds on a keto diet, I actually gained half a pound of fat, increasing from 11.9 to 12.4% body fat. This means that the 3 pounds of lean mass that I lost were probably water weight. On a flexible diet, I gained about the same amount of fat, but I gained 4 pounds of lean mass, ending at just 12.5% body fat. If the lean mass that I lost on a keto diet was water weight, then some of the lean mass that I gained on a flexible diet would also be water weight. But not all of it. On a keto diet, my combined 1 rep max from bench press, squats, and bent over rows was 920 pounds, and at the end of a flexible diet, it was 995 pounds. That was a 12-pound improvement on a keto diet and a 75-pound improvement on a flexible diet, which is by far the biggest strength advantage that I've ever received from any diet. So when Joe asked the question,
now for people that are thinking about gains,
I have to give the advantage to a higher carb flexible diet. Now, in Keto's defense, Dom does say that he believes the ketogenic diet works best for people who are restricting their calories.
I believe that the ketogenic diet shines when you are in a calorie deficit.
And from my experience, I would have to agree that the keto diet is better for appetite reduction, which would naturally restrict the calories that you eat. If I would have given myself the same free reign that I had on a keto diet to eat as much as I wanted on a flexible diet, I'd probably be 10 pounds heavier talking to you right now. Another benefit that Joe and Dom both claim from a keto diet is improved cognitive function.
You were specifically discussing hormonal changes in the body due to the ketogenic diet that are beneficial, and that these hormonal changes and the changes to the way that the brain functions would be a benefit of following that diet.
So ketones have a metabolic superiority as a fuel source, and they readily cross the blood-brain barrier. That offers a lot of advantages to someone dieting.
But Layne says that these benefits might just come from the placebo effect.
You feel like this might be some of what's going on with a lot of this low-carb stuff, that people say they feel so fantastic because there's some sort of a placebo effect?
That's possible because the brain is unbelievably powerful. There was a study, they took people who had legit allergy problems and they gave them a sugar pill. It should not have done anything. Over half the people reported that their symptoms got better and 30% actually physiologically got better.
Placebo or not, I definitely felt better, thought more clearly, and was more confident on a keto diet than I was on a flexible diet. Dom even gives the keto diet credit for some of its success in academia.
That, for me, had tremendous practical applications that allowed me, I feel, to excel through academia. I was able to do a lot more work.
But objectively, I did accomplish more during a flexible diet. I measure my productivity through a project management system called Scrum. Every 3 weeks, I list all the tasks that I want to accomplish and give each task a score. At the end of the next 3 weeks, I count the total score of all the tasks that I accomplished to learn how productive I was during that 3-week cycle. At the end of a keto diet, I got 138 points, but at the end of a flexible diet, I got 148. Now, that being said, the whole point of this Scrum framework is to become more productive over each time frame. And during a keto diet, my productivity increased by 48%, where during a flex diet, it only increased by 7%. Since there was a greater improvement and I felt more mental clarity, whether it's a placebo or not, I have to give the keto diet the advantage when it comes to mental health. Another advantage of the keto diet is that my testosterone was 16% higher at the end. But this was accompanied by a 44% drop in my LDL cholesterol during a flexible diet. I definitely expected a keto diet to be better for my goals. I don't know how I could have thought that eating cereal and ice cream would make me a better physical performer. But it turns out that the flexible diet had some significant advantages. I was 8.2% stronger while only increasing my body fat by 0.1%. When Joe asked Dom whether the keto diet is a good idea for athletes, Dom says,
It can be, absolutely, and it will be dependent upon being keto adapted over time.
And for him, this adaptation took 3 to 4 months. Granted, I didn't try it for that long myself, but if I was a competitive athlete, I don't know that I would sacrifice my short-term performance for the possibility that 3 to 4 months down the line, my performance would stabilize and return to normal. But if I'm just a normal person who wants to lose weight without tracking calories, then the appetite reduction from the keto diet does have a real advantage. But like Layne says,
If I was going to commit to it as a lifestyle, then that would be fine. But unless you're willing to, again, if that's not something you're willing to stick to for life, you have to rethink if you want to do it or not.
because if you ever stop, you're probably going to need to start tracking your calories to maintain that same weight loss advantage. For me, the most compelling reason to switch to a keto diet was the cognitive benefits, and I did feel these disappear when I switched to a flexible diet. However, I felt these advantages even stronger on a carnivore diet, which is technically a type of ketogenic diet. And that's why in the new year, I'm gonna follow a carnivore diet for a few months to see how it affects me over time. Until then, I'm following a flexible diet to see how these two compare. From the carnivore and ketogenic side, I got much better cognitive benefits, and from the flexible diet, I seem to get much better physical benefits. If you want to see how these diets affect me, then subscribe to this channel and I'll keep you posted. If you like this video, then please help out, give it a thumbs up, and share it with anyone who you think will find this information valuable. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.